This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what do you have on tap for us today?
Well, it's like there are a certain few, inexhaustible wells of content that source this podcast. I mean, like there's like Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Star Wars, and there's also JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because that series has been going on for decades in Japan, and things are there's and Viz, is doing the Lord's work and trying to bring over every single arc. Now they've realized that there's a big audience for the adventures of the Joestar family and their related offshoots. So I've talked about multiple multiple arcs of the series. Specifically, it's like the signature arc. Um, it's like Stardust Crusaders. It's like, and also like the most recent one, which reached completion, like Diamond is Unbreakable, which is like the series' most Stephen Kingish arc. In the sense that you've got your characters accruing like supernatural powers in a small town and trying to figure out like who's like the big bad serial killer who's going around like murdering like all people there. While there hasn't been a bad arc of JoJo's to this date, they've kind of like have their own like individual issues. I mean, like the first two arcs, like Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency, basically had like the whole like, oh, like its creator Hirohiko Araki, he's still trying to find his style and voice as a creator. But then when you get to Stardust Crusaders, and everything kind of clicks, and you get like its longest and best arc, like to the state, the one that kind of casts like a long shadow over everything that follows, to the point where um, like Diamond is Unbreakable basically had its protagonist, Jotaro Joestar, like show up to let its protagonist, Josuke, know that yeah, you're the son, like you're the son of like my granddad. It's like, and all. It's like that kind of thing right there. Now, following up from that, it this latest series that Viz finally finished completing, a couple months ago, but as the time I'm recording this, back in August, we have Golden Wind, which basically kind of reveals it's like Araki to be kind of a closet Italianophile. Basically, like he either like has like a big passionate love for the country. It's like that has been heretofore been undisclosed, or he basically kind of visited the series in between arcs. Sorry, visited the country in between arcs, fell in love with it, and decided I'm gonna make the next arc of the series here, like not in Japan. I'm gonna make it in Italy, and what is synonymous with Italy? I'm glad you asked, because it's the mafia. Yeah, that's right. We've got a Japanese version of the mafia here, because Golden Wind, like, it it's like it picks up with it's like with one of the protagonists from Diamond is Unbreakable, Koichi Hirose, basically being tasked by Jotaro Joestar to go to Italy and find out about this one this one person, Haruno Shiobana, who is apparently like may have some sort of connection to the Joestar family, enough that Jotaro wants to know, like, what's this guy doing. And no sooner does Koichi show up in it's like show up in country than he gets his stuff stolen by by this this ruffian known as Giorno Giovanna. It's like he like Giovanna. It's like just like looks at like Koichi and just recognizes him as as an easy mark. Just some like Japanese rube who's shown up in country, and I can just take him for whatever he wants. Then he realizes that, but then he and Koichi both realize like a key tenet of the series, in that stand users are attracted to each other. Because while Koichi is able to use his stand in order to keep in order to keep Giorno from like escaping with his stuff immediately, well, Giorno uses his stand to get away from them completely, because Giorno is also a stand user, and he's got like one of the series' more unique stands called Golden Wind. And what does his stand do? Well, his stand basically allows him to like impart any object with life. So if he wants to like turn like Koichi's like like luggage into frogs, he can totally do that. If he wants to like turn one of his teeth into a jellyfish, he can do that too. It's like it's a huge, crazy get out of jail free card, like for Araki to use over the course of this series, and it's like and it's and this and while I still enjoy like reading the series like after this arc, I will say this series kind of has like the opposite problem, or not really the opposite problem, but like a different but not dissimilar problem from Diamond is Unbreakable. Because while Diamond is Unbreakable started off, having a solid solid plot line in order like in that was trying to find out like like who was like like wielding the arrow that was turning people into stand users. Like it kind of like slowly like lost track of that like early on in its run, and then you're left with like like Araki's ability to just hey it's like what are the like the stand users gonna like fight against each other here and all like for this storyline. It's like, and yeah, it's like he did that, but you're kind of like wondering like okay, well when you're gonna actually get to like the actual like point of this arc, the actual like storyline is gonna like connect things and all. Well, Golden Wind doesn't have that problem, like for better or for worse. Basically, like Giorno Giovanna, it's like is actually like the person that Koichi was looking for. But the thing is, it's like his special thing is that he's actually like one of the sons of Dio, because it turns out that Dio like was actually just going around like banging a bunch of women, like in order to like like it's like secure his like future and all. But and while you think that oh wow, it's like this Giorno Giovanna, like he's gonna be like the heir to Dio's legacy and all. Nope. Well, because like even though he's like the sensible son of Dio, it's like that really doesn't come into play over the course of the story at all. Instead, it's just basically his ambitions to become mafioso, because it turns out that it's like well that at one point when he was growing up and his dad was like beating on him because he didn't believe him to be like a proper strong kid. It's like Giorno like saved a mafioso from being apprehended by the police, and this mafioso repaid him by putting his dad in line and allowing Giorno to grow up like in a normal way. And this basically like caused Giorno to like basically go, I want to be a mafioso because these guys are cool. These are like honest, respectable people. And sure, yeah, it's like, and before you think that hey, we're getting like a JoJo's like arc inspired by the Godfather, nah, it's like it's just like the standard business of like stand users facing off against other stand users, um like fixed with like Araki's like like keen insight into like how to raise tension between arcs, because even if like Golden Wind doesn't start off in the same fashion as Diamond is Unbreakable, like it does tend to get better like with each storyline as Giorno like joins up with like his mafia crew head by like like Bruno. It's like Bruno Bucciarati. It's like who has the stand known as Zipper Man. It's like what someone who can like attach zippers in order to like like unzip things and like go through them, or to like to like store things within them. It's like it's a clever thing, and this like in the arc and the series like revolves around like the people who work with work within this like this particular like a mafia cell, because Giorno basically has to prove himself to the cell's like accessible leader Polpo, like a guy who is just like living in prison and also posing as a bed in order to like suit his own needs, because this is Jojo and they're going to roll like that. He's it's like he's going to you know just try and prove himself to this mafia cell, and that's what the first couple of volumes are about. But then once Giorno orchestrates the death of it's like of this mafia leader, well, that basically sets the main plot of the arc into play, because after the like after this after his cell, led by Bruno, like the assistant capo now. Like then you've got Abaccio, who runs the stand, Moody Wind, which was it Moody Wind, Moody Blues, which basically allows him to replay anything that's happened. It's like up to a certain point in time. It's like Narancia Girga, who has the plane stand, like little bomber, which allows him to shoot things with his plane, and also track them using its radar by how they breathe. Guido Mista, who has the ability to shoot things with with his stand possessed bullets. It's like and Panakata Fugo, who has a stand that allows him to punch things in a furious fashion, but also just deploy it's like a like a lethal virus at the same time whenever one of the vessels in his stand's hand bursts. It's like they're a real crazy and eclectic bunch of characters, and Araki naturally does a good job of playing out their their abilities over the course of the first three volumes. In fact, the series does, even if it doesn't start out in the most electric way, it does keep getting better as each volume goes on, up to the point where you realize that their main goal is deliver the like like their boss's daughter, because there's while Bruno eventually is declared the new capo of their group, there's also a capo di capo of their of the whole a mafioso organization, and that guy wants them to deliver his daughter Trish to to him for reasons which are not specified. But the thing is, Bruno has his reasons to not trust this guy, because he views the groups the organization's decision to embark in the drug trade. It's as a major black mark against the organization. So he just wants to find out why this guy's doing it, and people put a stop to it, if he can. And he believes that following the boss's orders to deliver his daughter to them is the best way to do that. This leads them to other people in the organization who are opposed to that, and we get crazy stuff like them hiding inside a turtle with its own stand, while it's all these other people, these other opposing stand users try to fish them out using their ability to age people, and also just hook them with their own special stand. They hook and just go right into them and rip out their heart. But then you've got Bruno just using his Zipperman ability to unzip himself, and just try to get that hook out from under him when he gets hooked with it in the chain, in a train. And to the point where he just has to unzip his entire body and his heart into two pieces, and it just gets crazy. It's like Araki's imagination is just insane, to the point where it's you just wonder wow, it's how does he keep coming up with this stuff? How do you keep coming up with a story where a guy gets parts of his face flash frozen inside a car? It's and find a way to survive that, and keep going in order to take out the guy with the stand, who has the ability of heat subtraction and all, and he can wear this this whole heat subtraction stand as his own suit of armor. It's crazy. And while it's you get the feeling he's kind of competing against his own self about what he did in these previous arcs, it's still pretty entertaining to watch him try and top himself, even though it's rereading this, I think that I'm I was just kind of like kind of amazed, so how everyone like in this like in the series, just just want like gets near death in the sense that like they get parts of their body like taken out, like I said, parts of their like body flash frozen to like the inside of a car, and it's like and just like just keep getting shot, you know, like multiple times over and over again to what you're just wondering like how are they able to like survive this stuff? It's crazy. It's like it's insane. It's like it's just like it just gets more and more ridiculous like as things go on. And even though it's like I stand by what I wrote in the my reviews of the series, each individual volume, like that, like a lot of the stuff does get like better in the sense that you kind of wonder like how's he going to keep topping himself, but you also get the feeling like oh my god, like he's just like just trying to push things further to the point where just like it just like searches like suspension of disbelief, like even by this series normally tenuous standards, like when like Giorno has to face off against this like murderous doctor who has the ability to make like infect people with a dangerous mold if they ever like go below a certain distance that he specifies. It's like or when it's like when Bruno has to rely on a split personality of the boss, like that he betrayed at a certain point. It's like in order to like get to a coliseum where someone who has basically told them, "Here's how I'm going to defeat the boss." Because, well, spoiler warning, the it's like when Bruno and company realize that when Bruno realizes that oh like the daughter you've ordered me to deliver to you, like you just want to kill her in order to like, kill like defeat like mask your identity. Well, yeah, it's like I was pretty sure you were a bad guy to begin with. Now I realize you're a terrible person, and I'm going to like find a way to defeat you. And that's how we get like them facing off against Diavolo and Emperor Crimson, someone who has the ability to eliminate 10 seconds at a time for whoever's in their range. And on one hand, it's like that's that's a crazy ass power to have. But I like how Araki like like portrays like him as having like his own problems, such as his pathological need to like for Diavolo to hide his identity to like make sure no one knows about who he really is, and like that's how it gives rise to Doppio, his hapless like other personality who is just like a goofball, but he's trying to like obey his boss's idea to like mask his identity and like use his ability to take out like people who are like trying to like take him out as well. It's ridiculous, it's fun, and I and overall it's like I was thoroughly invested in this in this particular run of Jojo's because because like yeah, because even if as ridiculous things get, there's still a certain logic to how Araki handles things, and I like seeing how that plays out over the course of the series up until the final volume. Because well, it's like because the big difference between my impressions of Diamond is Unbreakable and Golden Wind is that well well, Diamond is Unbreakable, like kind of lost its way after a certain point, but we rediscovered it and like find a way to like, wrap things up pretty strongly. Golden Wind, um, basically kind of falls apart in the end. Really, I mean, not to the point to convince me to like to stop reading JoJo, but wow, it's like the stuff that happens in the final volume just basically go like, what were you thinking, Araki? It's like this stuff that just makes no sense. I mean, when we're talking about them, like there's a lot of body switching craziness that happens in the next to last volume, and it also involves a stand that basically goes berserk and tries to protect the like one of the arrows that gives people stands like from previous arcs, because there's also gives you and like further explanation how stands are formed, and apparently involves a like a meteorite that fell to Earth thousands of years ago, and it's like, and if you're looking for an explanation of how this stuff happens, then yeah, you'll get it here. Is it a good one? Not really, but I guess if you're the kind of person who was just saying who was trying to find out, why does Saitama is able to kill everyone in One Punch Man, then yeah, I guess this will be fine for you. But yeah, it's just ridiculous otherwise. But when you find out how like how Diavolo was able to like take out this souped up stand that has control of the arrow, like by punching the ball of light that's in the back of his head. And if you're wondering what ball of light, you haven't talked about a ball of light so far. Yes, there's a ball of light in the back of everyone's head that is apparently casting a light in order to allow you to see this particular stand. And it's just ridiculous. And then when you find out what Golden Wind's souped up power is in order to defeat um like defeat like Emperor Crimson. It's like in Diavolo. It's like what? Like it required like one of the interchapter descriptions that Amaraki employs in order to give you give you more detail in order to understand what a stand's power is. Thing is, without this explanation, you would not know just what the hell happened to him. To the point where what's going on here? It's it's like he's given some sort of version of eternal waking, in that the guy just wakes up every time and realizes that he's about to die. In the end, it's just it's nuts. But it's not nuts in a fun way. It's nuts in a that Aki was just flying by the seat of his pants here, and you're kind of like, okay, I guess that makes sense. I guess that's how things are meant to wrap up. Um, I will say that I did kind of like the it's like the story that he inserted before the finale. It's like that basically like talks shows you what Bukirati Bruno and his crew were doing prior to encountering Giorno. It's like that was nice. It's like they're them talking about this sculptor who's got a stand that casts people's fate in stone and all. That was nice. And but then you get to the end, it's like, oh, so Giorno's like a proper mafioso now. It's like, sure, okay, that's fine. Overall, it's like it's rare that I get to the end of a series and the series just kind of falls apart in the end. I mean, yeah, it's like maybe I'll get to the end, I'll get a surprise which shows that the creator really had a solid plan of what they're doing, or that they'll just give something pretty straightforward, which says that hey, there is a plan here, but we knew we were doing it the whole time. Golden Wind is the rare series where you get to the end and you realize that the creator kind of was flying by the seat of his own pants, like right up to the end, and it really doesn't quite work. I mean, I don't think this is a terrible end to Golden Wind, but man, it's yeah, I was hoping for more. I was hoping for Araki to give us a proper, coherently planned out, currently articulated finale to this series, and I didn't get that here. So, but even so, there's still a lot of good, entertaining craziness. It's to this arc, to the point where it's even if it falls apart in the end, I'm not about to give up on on Jojo. And I think maybe Araki kind of realized this, and to the point where like the next arc, Stone Ocean does go back to like our Stardust Crusaders characters in a more direct fashion, in the sense that it's next like its next protagonist is like it's Jolene Cujo, the daughter of Jotaro Joestar. It's like, and we're gonna like find out just why it's like what it's like why she's like gets sent to prison and has to like learn like about this business from this whole stand business while she's in prison, and maybe after she escapes from her dad as well. So yeah, I'm still on board with JoJo, because like there's still like so much creativity and insane imagination and action in this arc. I just kind of wish it didn't fall apart in the end. So there
So
you
is
go.
it so does it still contain elements that we'd like from a JoJo's type story?
Yeah, I mean it's like I said, like everything up to the end is still pretty solid. I mean, yeah, it gets like kind of ridiculous, and this is like how much damage everyone sustains, and how like they're so lucky to have a healing type stand like Golden Wind in order to take care of them. But at the same time, like I like the level of suspense and creativity that Araki displays over the course of this arc is still considerable. It's just that he just kind of like face plants like in the final lap.
All right. Well, do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Well, it's probably going to be the wrap up to DC's Deceased saga, but
Uh,
depending on how things go, we may be going back to a certain to a certain science fiction franchise as well. But like I said, it's probably going to be Deceased. So
all
there you
right.
go.
Cool. And we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glade.
Later's everyone.